Hello, I'm Olivia Mattis, and I'm so delighted to welcome you today to our Sunday program on a very special occasion. It's the birthday of Dr. Ruth Westheimer, and she has graciously agreed to spend it with us. What a privilege. So every Sunday for the last 2 years, we've focused on various programs and stories of rescue, resistance, resilience. And we have a guest today who personifies all of these qualities: resilience, living for the future, never forgetting, being optimistic, helping others. All of the values that Sousa Mendes encompassed in his action when he saved all those refugees in 1940. Today we have a moderator, Dr. Judd Newborn. He's going to be the interviewer of Dr. Ruth, and he will also be moderating your questions. Dr. Judd Newborn is an anthropologist, a cultural anthropologist. He has a Ph.D. from the University of Chicago. He was a pioneer in the field of Holocaust studies. He is an author of a very important book on Sophie Scholl and the White Rose resistance movement. He was the founding historian of the Museum of Jewish Heritage in New York. And that's a museum that connects all of us today. That's where we at the Sousa Mendes Foundation had our gala. Dr. Ruth is on their board of directors. And so that's a real point of connection. Dr. Ruth will be introduced by Judd Newborn, and then he will interview her. So Judd, my dear friend, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm very glad to be here, and I'm so happy that Dr. Ruth Westheimer is our guest, and that I'm able to be the interviewer. Ruth was born just outside Frankfurt 94 years ago this weekend as Karola Ruth Siegel. And she is a phenomenon. You all know already that she's a popular cultural icon and has been for decades. And she has helped shape the way we live, not just sexually, but meaningfully and with joy and resilience. We're going to be talking partly about her story through her charming illustrated book for children, Roller Coaster Grandma, The Amazing Story of Dr. Ruth. In this little book, Ruth uses a gentle, humorous orphan and an uplifting approach to telling new generations about the Holocaust, as well as showing how we can experience life's unexpected obstacles with strength and resilience. Dr. Ruth also has a new expanded edition of her elegant art book, The Art of Arousal. It's a delightful aesthetic tour of sensuality through 130 paintings, sculptures, and drawings from diverse eras and cultures. It's available through Abbeville Press, a very classy press, and it's on Amazon, of course. Olivia mentioned that Ruth is proudly on the board of the New York's Holocaust Museum, the Museum of Jewish Heritage, which is where I first met Ruth. And her latest, most spectacular honor comes from the Library of Congress itself, which has just recently chosen to house her collected papers alongside those of such greats as Margaret Sanger, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Ruth's late colleague, Dr. Sigmund Freud himself. So Ruth, it's great to see you here.
Thank you, nice introduction. Judd, I want to tell you something very important.
Yeah.
People have to know that that gentleman who saved so many Jews, the sad point, and we have to acknowledge that, is that for some reason, which I do not know, that somebody has to do more research, that he actually died in poverty. For some reason, they never really acknowledged him. So I am very happy. He was a consul. He did all of this giving out certificates and saved so many Jews during World War II And I do not know exactly, more research has to be done, why nobody really knew about his later life. So I'm very happy that you and I dedicate this hour of my birthday to his memory, because he was very courageous and saved many Jews with illegal permissions to move out of Nazi Germany. So now I have to tell you one more sentence. The book you just mentioned, Rollercoaster Grammar, is for children, and it talks about World War II, but I was very careful never to talk about any concentration camp, but I do talk about my story, my father being taken to a labor camp, and I'm telling how he smiled and waved to me when he was picked up by the Nazis, and that I smiled and waved when I said goodbye on January 5th, 1939, when I was permitted to join a group of children to be taken to Switzerland, supposedly for 6 months, until the parents could move to some other country. But as you know, as I know, and everybody else knows, that it was already too late, and my parents, everybody else perished, and I was sent to Switzerland and the children's home called Wartheim. Can you say that? Wartheim.
Me? Wartheim.
Yeah. Warten in German means to wait. We did not know that we had to wait 6 years until the end of World War II, until in 1945, I boarded a ship, and it talks about that in the book, which is for children, I would say, probably 4th grade on, that I then went to Palestine. Now, Jad, listen carefully.
Yeah.
In then Palestine, I became a member of the Haganah. Can you say Haganah?
Me? Haganah.
Yes, of the underground. I was a sniper, Jack. Be careful, Jack. See, there's a picture. I can put 5 bullets into the red circle with a gun. I've never killed anybody, but I could have. I knew how to throw hand grenades. I never killed anybody, but I was badly wounded in the War of Independence. Fortunately, there was a German-Jewish physician at the Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem. He fixed me. He fixed my feet so well, Chuck, that I can dance a whole night. I could, not anymore, not at the age of 94, but I was a good skier. So that book is appropriate for children because it's not going to let them have a sleepless night. And yes. I needed to do one of those books. Now about the book about sex. The book, The Art of Arousal, is a new edition. It is fabulous. And a friend of mine, Judd, he's an art historian like you in Texas. And he told me that that book is on his nightstand. Tell that to all your listeners.
Can I interrupt you at that moment? Because there's something important. Yesterday in the New York Post online, you can see it on page 6, which is the famous page 6. There's a wonderful little article about something that you're going to be doing after your 94th birthday. And it relates a little bit to that, doesn't it? And of course, you've written a book about sex after 50. Yes. So I think that you've written books on widespread topics. You've written on sex on morality. You've done this art book. You've worked basically on just about every subject matter that might even, it's not only sex, right? It's also about your life through music. I was very surprised to see that book, and I want to read that one. Now, listen, we're going to show some photographs. and just see what you have to say about them. It's a kind of chronological journey through part of your life. So there's first right now, something you've often said in our very first slide. Do you see that, Ruth?
No, tell me what it is.
It says, my parents gave me life twice.
Yes.
Yeah, can you?
Once when I was born, and once when they insisted that on January 5th, 1939, just before outbreak of World War II, that I have to join a group of Jewish children going from Frankfurt into Switzerland, supposedly for 6 months. Yeah. And then the parents could arrange for their immigration and pick us up. That's not what happened. Switzerland took 300 children. Holland, Belgium, and France took 300 each. England, despite the fact that, you know, dark clouds were on the horizon, took 10,000 Jewish children. If I had not been with that group of children to Switzerland, I wouldn't be alive. The children in England survived, but the ones in Holland, Belgium, and France did not survive.
How did you find out? How did your mother and grandmother find out that there was this opportunity for 300 children to get on a train to Switzerland?
My father, right after the night of broken glass, some people call it Kristallnacht, my father was picked up by the Nazis. He was in a labor camp. There were no concentration camps yet. He sent a postcard. I don't know how he found out. Karola, that was my name. Yes, my father.
Yes.
Karola has to join the group of children to Switzerland, Orthodox Jewish children, so that he, Julius Siegel, could come back to Frankfurt. I had no choice. I did not want to go. I had no choice. If I had not been with that group of children, let's suppose if I had been with the group for Holland, Belgium, and France, I would not be alive.
Tell me something. I'm curious. During that time, many anti-Jewish measures had already been passed. One of them was that everyone had to put the name Sarah or Israel into their names to mark them as Jews, but also the Swiss were the ones who asked Germany to put a red J on Jewish passports because they didn't want to accept Jews. They wanted to turn them back at the border. Did you have passports or papers?
Yeah, let me tell you something. I do not have the passport or the paper with the J on. I'm sure that I did have it, but I have to tell you something. Very, very sad that that Jew, that idea came from Switzerland.
Yeah.
But a few weeks ago in Davos, Switzerland, that's where usually the economic forum is, they dedicated near the cemetery a big kind of a dedication to those people who were sent back from the border of Switzerland, because there were many who did not get accepted, or those people who never made it altogether, and those who don't have a grave. Now, my family don't have a grave, which is very sad. And I went to Yad Vashem in Jerusalem just to look at all the dates. And the date of my mother, her birth is correct, 27th of October, 1903. And then it says the word in German, verschollen, horrible word. The word verschollen means disappeared. So there are many people who don't have graves. And one of the reasons that I did the book Roller Coaster Grammar is that children should learn about World War II, should learn of what happened, but I'm more, in addition, interested in diversity. The other book for children is called Crocodile, You Are Beautiful. Can you say crocodile?
Crocodile. Do I have to roll my R? Crocodile.
So crocodile is for small children about diversity. Very important these days. And it tells little ants to be glad to be an ant because if they cooperate, they can build bridges.
Right.
And so all of us, you, the organization, everybody has to talk about diversity.
I agree with you absolutely. And let's see a picture actually from Roller Coaster Grandma showing you leading children in song. And the picture we have from the book shows how interesting the graphic elements of the book are. And the children, you're leading all of these children in a song that I think is called Jude Wohin. Nobody has a homeland except the Jews.
Right.
And we have to create a homeland for them. And that leads me to your role in the Haganah.
Yes.
We have a picture of you, and just tell us what you did in the Haganah.
Okay.
And we're going to try to get the picture up.
I was a very short time in the Haganah.
Yeah.
In 1948, but I certainly was very much with it in my mind. Look at me here at the Museum of the Haganah. I'm holding a Sten gun, which nobody uses anymore, and also a hand grenade. And I was trained as a sniper, and I was on my 20th birthday. You can count now how many years ago. I was very badly wounded from a cannonball in Jerusalem on both my legs. That's not why I'm short. I would have been short anyway. But I was badly wounded, and I was fortunate. There was a German-Jewish surgeon, Eli Peiser, who fixed my feet, and I was able to be a super skier, a black diamond, not double black, but black diamond, and enthusiastic skier. And I could, a little, not today, but a few years ago, I still could dance a whole night. In my home, I have a picture of Zubin Mehta dancing with me.
Beautiful.
So I can prove to you, Judd, that my feet were fixed.
Absolutely.
Very good water skier.
Yeah. Well, listen, you got to France in 1952, I believe, to study at the Sorbonne.
Yes.
And while you were there was a famous hit, a song that became a hit throughout France.
Yes.
Interesting, because it was a Jewish song called Tira Tira. And we're going to play Tira Tira, which I know you love.
Yes.
And then after they play it, we're going to get your reactions to why you love the song and what it means to you. Okay, let's hear the song.
Tire, tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. Demain, demain tu te maries, mon ami. Tire, tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. Ta robe doit être finie. Sous tes doigts naissent des fleurs, faites de paillettes, de diamants. Le diadème d'oranger porte bonheur, est entre les mains de ta maman. La 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 la, tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. La 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 la, tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. Ta chambre est couverte de petits bouts de soie. Le chat sur le tapis s'en donne à cœur joie. Près du feu qui danse, le fauteuil se balance et berce ton père endormi. Ta maman, sans dire un mot, achève de plier ton trousseau. Ton papa saura demain, après le bal, qu'un mariage coûte bien du mal. La, 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 la. Tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. La, 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 la. Tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. La lumière de la lampe fume et chancelle. Tes yeux se couvrent d'un rideau de dentelle. Ne les laisse pas se fatiguer, mon ami. Demain, il faut être joli. Et quand l'orgue chantera, leur semez votre route de bonheur. Tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. Tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille. Tire, tire l'aiguille, ma fille.
Oh, what a beautiful song.
I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
The first program ever to play that song while interviewing me, ever. And I have to tell you why I love it. First of all, the melody I love. I love the music, but I also love the message because it's the father who is preparing the wedding dress. He's a tailor. He's preparing the wedding dress for his daughter. And I love that song. I love the idea that it's not the mother only, the father who is the tailor and who is preparing that song. Bravo to you. Make sure that I eventually get a tape of this.
You will. And also the message, I know that you lost your mother, your father, your grandmother, your family. And so now, given the words of the song and the message, we have a picture of you with your wedding to your third husband, Manfred Westheimer, in 1961. And then we have another picture of you with your family, including Miriam and Joel. So did
Hallelujah.
you fulfilled the story of the song?
I did. Listen, you say hallelujah. I see Miriam, I see Joel. Listen carefully. Yeah. Miriam and her husband, who is also named Joel, their daughter is now at NYU Law School, just finished her first year with an A, tell everybody. Their son Joel is already working with computers. Don't ask me what he does because I don't get anything with computers. Now, my son Joel, whom you see there, his daughter, listen carefully, just got accepted to medical school in Toronto.
Wow.
Only 4% of applicants get accepted. And I wanted so badly to be a doctor. Now my granddaughter is going to be a medical doctor. Her brother, Ben, just got 4 A's in college. First year, I bought him a guitar for that.
That's fantastic.
And my daughter, Leora, Miriam's daughter, just got engaged, and her fiancé went to the bench of Manfred Westheimer, whom you just showed, my late husband, in Fortreien Park. I'm on the board. There's a bench dedicated to him, and that's where Ilam proposed to Leora. Marriage, I don't know yet when they get married. She has to finish law school. And hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The next time you and I will talk,
you have
to put on the song Hallelujah.
Okay, I will. The Hallelujah chorus, but not by Handel. Let's do the Jewish Hallelujah.
Yes.
My mom used to sing that in the chorus. Now we have a picture of just recently, Tova Feldschuh played you on stage in a one-woman show called Becoming Dr. Ruth. And I want to ask you, we have a picture, let's see, of the poster, and we actually have a picture of you and Tova together in the same costume. And I'm wondering, what was it like to see someone else play you on stage?
Let me see the picture.
That's the poster. And then there you two look like twins.
Not only that, I'm wearing the red blouse that she had her tailor make the same blouse like me. And she has a wig looking like me. I have to tell you, she's a brilliant actress.
She is.
The first person is Deborah Jo Rapp, who played me many years ago. Now it's Tova. Please tell everybody, Tova needs to take that play, Becoming Dr. Ruth, to a theater in New York. It was already on Long Island. it has to go to New York, to the west side of New York, into one of those small theaters, because I want her to be nominated for whatever, Emmy or whatever it is.
Tony.
Tony, I want to tell you that she's fabulous. She learned my accent. She not only that, I had to dance with her. Usually I don't like to dance with women. I want to dance with you. I want to dance with the men. With Tova, I danced, and she is a wonderful actress. And now we have to help her to get it to the West Side and to get an award. You help me.
I know Tova well. Back at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, we had a special luncheon that honored partisan women, one partisan woman. Yes. And we brought in Tova. I sneaked her into the audience in order to have her be part of it, because she played a partisan in the Holocaust miniseries. So she was a pioneer in helping establish Holocaust memory. So yeah, Tova should definitely have that show travel, be on Broadway, come to the Cinema Arts Center, where I'm the curator now in Huntington. That would be terrific, and where you were a guest.
Please help us, and I will help you.
Okay, now we got to move quickly because we're going to have, we have other things to do. So I'm just going to say, gee, I don't know what to do, because I wanted to ask you about a couple current events. Let me do it very, very quickly. I know that although you don't speak about politics, you've always spoken for decades about social issues and social justice. And right now, we have a picture of Hispanic children at the border being separated from their parents, which happened a couple of years ago. Many of them still have not been reunited with their parents. They can't be found. And we have another picture of Ukrainian children who are refugees. And the Russians, according to President Zelensky, have deported 2,000, even grabbing them from orphanages, into Russia. So this issue of children must hit you very hard.
Very sad. And to you, I'm going to tell loud and clear that I have sleepless nights about that. Not only because of my personal history, but the sadness that we all have to witness such cruelty and such impossible to understand issues right now. All I can tell you that everybody, Jew, non-Jew, Muslim, whatever, we all have to get together and we have to say, stop it.
Yeah, I agree. We have another picture. Right now, I know women's rights to their reproductive freedom has always been very important to you. I've heard you speak about it in public. Okay. And now at the Supreme Court, they're poised to change, make abortion illegal again. Here's a picture of a woman holding a hanger, which I know desperate women, poor women, sometimes even use on themselves to perform their own abortions. So what should we do about it?
You and I have to publicly say how sad. I would have never, ever imagined that they could reverse that. No, never. And I do not engage in politics, as you know. Somebody who talks about orgasm from morning till night should not talk about politics except this. For years, I have said, it is not just people who are irresponsible who get pregnant. There are sometimes contraceptive failures. There is a condom that can break. Even people who take care and people who think that withdrawal is a good method, it's not a good method because there is some pre-ejaculatory fluid when he ejaculates that already can get her pregnant. Right. So there are people who do take precautions. And I would have lost any bet. I would have never thought that that could happen in this great country of ours. And
yes.
Stand up.
I'm sorry. And one more picture is about gay rights. I know you were, since the beginning of the AIDS crisis, you spoke out when other people kept silent. And now Florida has this Don't Say Gay law, which is going to make children onward think that there's something shameful and illegitimate about being gay. God knows if the kids will come out of the closet as teenagers.
John, and I'm glad you bring it up. And I want to tell you something, that for years, I have said that the issue of homosexuality, I don't know why some men prefer to sleep with men, some women with women. One thing we don't know the etiology, the reason for. However, one thing you and I know, and everybody who listens to you and me, that respect is not debatable. So I have said that all the time, and I would have never predicted that we today have to talk again about it being illegal or not possible. I have learned to ask a gay man, how is your husband? I have learned to ask a gay woman, how is your wife, instead how your husband. We had to learn that, but listen to me very carefully.
Yeah.
The issue of respect was never questioned by me and should never be questioned, but we do have to speak up, and it's very sad right now what's happening.
Yes. Well, we're gonna be doing a little bit of Q&A, questions and answers, and we also have announcements to make. So I just want to mention that your birthday today, your 91st birthday, also coincides with the holiday of Shavuot, when Moses brought down the 10 Commandments from Mount Sinai, and he gave our moral code to the world, right? So that's all about learning, and I just want to mention that because you're about learning, you're about teaching, and that's what we do on Shavuot. And I want to say something nice, which is because there's an adorable photograph. Like you say size doesn't matter, and that's in many ways. And for us, you may be 4'7", or maybe you're shorter now. I know I'm shrinking, but to us, you're one of the world's most joyful cultural giants. And here we see you with President Obama.
Right, he was very proud. You know what I had to do? It was in Washington when I got the award for Planned Parenthood, and I had to ask them for a bar mitzvah box. And on, otherwise you wouldn't see me because he was on. So he had to wait. Poor President Obama had to wait until they brought in a bar mitzvah box, and you see how tall I am? That's because of my saying, get me a bar mitzvah box.
Well, there are sometimes a lot of little people who are the biggest ones in the world in terms of their accomplishments. We're going to take a few questions now. Is it okay with you if we have some Q&A?
Only if you read them to me.
Yeah, I will read them to you. Let me take a look. I have to see what some people have asked. And
Judge, should I make my announcements now?
Oh, yeah, please.
That gives you time to go into
I forgot the order, yeah.
Okay. No
Okay.
problem. What a delightful program this is already. So let me tell you a couple of things about a couple of follow-ups to today's program. So number one is we are offering autographed copies of Dr. Ruth's delightful book for children, Roller Coaster Grandma. It's a book you will want to buy for every young person in your life. We have a limit of 6 books per ticket, so you can buy up to 6 if you're interested. So the way you do that is you go right back to the page where you purchased your ticket for today's program, and the books are still available. They'll be available until Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday at 10 p.m. So you have between now and then to order your own autographed copy of Dr. Ruth's book, Roller Coaster Grandma. In addition, we will be providing you with a link to the wonderful documentary film called Ask Dr. Ruth. That link will be sent to you on Monday at 12 noon, and you will have it for 24 hours only. That was our agreement with the distributor. You will have it for 24 hours only. So look for that email at 12 noon Eastern Time on Monday. Next week, we are looking at a completely different topic. We're going back 500 years to pre-Inquisition Spain and Portugal. And we have two women as our guests, two authors, Doreen Carvajal and Jeannie Milgram, who were both raised Catholic and who can both trace their family roots back to 1391 in pre-Inquisition Spain and Portugal. And moderating that program will be my colleague in Portugal, Mariana Abrantes, and that a week from now also corresponds with a Portuguese national holiday called Portugal Day. So that's a program not to be missed. It's a free program. We hope you'll tell all your friends to sign up. We have room for up to 1,000 people on our Zoom account, so please tell everyone. 2 weeks from now is Father's Day, and for Father's Day we are celebrating a Jewish dynasty, the Morgenthau family. Henry Morgenthau Jr., who was in the Roosevelt administration, was the person who persuaded Roosevelt to create the War Refugee Board that ultimately led to the action of Raoul Wallenberg, which was supported by the War Refugee Board, sent by them, supported by the American Joint Jewish Distribution Committee, and the rescue of many, many thousands of people. So that's a very important history, very important story. We have a film for you called Morgenthau that looks at 3 generations of the Morgenthau family. Henry Morgenthau Sr., who was the US ambassador to Turkey and who first spoke out against the Armenian genocide. So that was the father, Henry Morgenthau Sr. Then we have Henry Morgenthau Jr., who worked with FDR. Then his son, Robert Morgenthau, became the district attorney of New York and fought crime, corruption, and this is a family that's devoted to human rights and rescue, all the values that Susan Mendez held dear. So I urge you to sign up for those programs. And now I will turn the floor back to Judd Newborn, who will ask Dr. Ruth some of your questions.
I just want to mention, I was looking through the chats, and Joan Halpern, I believe, is buying 4 books of Roller Coaster Grandma, and she can't wait to see them and give them away as gifts. So thank you, Joan. Here's a question, Ruth. You're known for your sense of humor, and you've gone through so many obstacles along the way, but also you've accomplished so much. Where did your sense of humor come from?
From the Jewish tradition, it says, a lesson taught with humor is a lesson retained. The book of mine with, it's called Heavenly Sex, Sexuality in the Jewish Tradition, was just, NYU Press just decided to make it a classic, will never be out of print. And it says there very clearly that you should use humor, not stupid jokes, but somewhat humor. The students will walk out of your classroom, will remember what you talked about.
That's terrific. By the way, we have people from different parts of the world listening, including from Portugal. Just wanted you to know that. I have another question, which is, what kind of values did your parents instill within you that might have helped you be resilient? Where did your resilience come from?
It does come from my early childhood, no question. My father was so intent. I was an only child. He did not have a son, so he took me to synagogue, and I listened to their learned discussions. And there's no question that the love of Judaism and the love of family came from my 2 grandmothers, my father's mother, with whom we lived in Frankfurt, my mother's mother in the village of Wiesenfeld. And so the early childhood experiences of my childhood were crucial. That's why I'm doing the children's books, by showing parents how important it is, the early childhood education. Look at me, it lasted until the age of 94. At the age of 10, I lost my family.
There is a picture that we didn't show, which I'd like to show, of you at age 10. If we can bring up that picture. It's just about the time of Kristallnacht. and going off to Switzerland. If Michael can find that picture of just you, there it is. I find that picture very poignant, and I'm wondering when it was taken, and what does it evoke in you? What feelings or thoughts?
I went to the school in Frankfurt, the Orthodox school, Samson Raphael Hirsch school. That was the year of like high school, the 4th grade. And I know that that picture was probably taken for going to Switzerland. They probably needed a picture because I think I was 10 here. And you see on my face, I can see it. On the one hand, I take a picture, like everybody takes pictures, but I'm already a little sad. I can see some sadness in that picture. I did not want to go, to leave my mother and grandmother. I told you my father had been taken to work camp, but I had no choice. My father said, I have to go.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that picture and I can see the sadness.
Yeah, I see it too. Maybe I'm reading into it, but I see a poignancy about what was going on beforehand and what would happen afterwards. So it's a beautiful picture, by the way. You look.
I did not want to go, but I've never uttered a word in Frankfurt that I didn't want to go. That postcard of my father said, I have to join the group of Jewish children going to Switzerland so that he can leave the work camp and come back to Frankfurt. That was all that I knew.
Yeah. Well, I think I want to show you a couple other pictures.
Don't eat the birthday cake.
Well, we're going to do that in a second. First of all, this is not the first birthday that you and I celebrated together with a loving audience, I might add. I was delighted, if you remember, to have you as my special guest at the Cinema Arts Center for your 91st birthday. And we have, you remember that? And there's a picture of us having a great deal of fun together on stage.
Okay, we'll do it again next year.
And in fact, Roller Coaster Grandma is on the table.
I like it.
You see that?
Yes.
And now in the next picture, we gave you a cake on stage. Do you remember that?
No.
Someone's handing, our wonderful head of our cafe got a wonderful cake to present to you on stage, and everybody sang.
The one now.
The one now we're going to talk about in a second. In the next image, we had like a big audience, right? So that little cake was just for you on stage, but we had to make a big sheet cake. And on the sheet cake, I decided we would put in icing, photo icing, which you can do today, a picture of you before, that little picture of the girl who's a little sad. And on top of it, Dr. Ruth, who became a big star. And there's a star around you. So you like that. So now that's why we want to now talk about your cake that we got for you. The Susa Mendes Foundation sent you a cake, and it was your favorite flavor, huh? What's your favorite flavor?
Marzipan and chocolate. It was delicious. I have a piece here. I'm going to show you. You make believe that I let you taste it. Look at it.
Hey, I want a piece.
Can you see the candle?
Yes.
Let everybody sing happy birthday.
Well, right now, oh, by the way, I want to tell people that they can put their birthday wishes to you into the chats. So if you have any birthday wishes you want to offer Dr. Ruth, put them into the chats now. And now we're going to, you know what? 3 of us are going to sing happy birthday to you. Otherwise, it's too many people. So here we go on the count of 3. It's going to be Olivia, me, and Michael, our technical wizard. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Ruth. Happy birthday to
you.
And I'm clapping. All of our audience is clapping, even if we can't hear the
Thank you.
claps.
You can take some singing lessons from someone. From your choral, I'm on the board, and you did very well. Thank you so much.
Well, we want to thank you very, very much. Do you have any last words you want to give us of what messages, what we should learn in life, or what you've learned?
You keep up your skill in interviewing. That's all I wish today.
Oh, that's for me.
That's for you.
And what about everybody else?
And everybody else, go and buy my book.
That's a good message. Beautiful.
You dance with my son.
Beautiful.
When Joe got married, we took 2 dancing lessons. Did you see me dance?
We sure did. Everybody did.
Good.
And we loved it. Thank you, Joel. Thank you for taking your mom for a little spin on her 94th birthday.
My pleasure.
And we hope, Ruth, and your children, that you will have the rest of the day should be as beautiful as your life is. And
so, Chad, listen.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, you're going to call me at home. You have
okay. Yeah.
Not before 10 a.m.
Okay, I won't be awake anyway.
Okay, so you did very well. Tell everybody you did very well. That was very enjoyable and very varied.
Great.
People let you know, I'm sure.
I hope they will. And I hope they'll let the Susa Mendez Foundation know how much they appreciate the programs that we do. This program was especially lovely, as I saw from the chats, comments. And every week there's another program on many different diverse topics with many famous people. We've had Natan Sharansky and Olivia could tell you all the famous people. And you're one of our most famous and beloved. So we thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you, and thank you to Joel and Miriam to put me on. And you are a brilliant interviewer.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiederhören.
Auf Wiederhören.
Tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth. Thank you, Judd Newborn. Thank you to our wonderful audience. See you all soon. Sign up for next week and have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.